Hey team, this is Jay Song here. Welcome back to my YouTube chart room. And we're going to be covering XLM and why I believe XLM is set up for a very, very big movement. Um, so we're going to start at the daily chart right here, and I'm going to go over just a few things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the phantom. Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't give you this video a little bit earlier here, but let's draw the phantom. So I'm going to connect the bottoms of these run, and you can start with the red. Right now I'm just actually using the peak, which is where it gapped down to before starting up. So that's really the lowest it went to, but I'm connecting the two greens at the bottom. You're trying to get the essence of the line, and you're trying to be very accurate. Since this is a daily chart, I'm actually going to use a blue covered line, colored line, and then I'm going to make it solid. It doesn't need to be so thick. I'm just going to make it about level 2 thickness. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to duplicate that line and close it. And this is how you connect the phantom. You take the swing high. You take the swing high, which is this point, and then you can project on. So I'm actually drawing the swing high of here, swing low of here, and swing low of here, which is right actually here. And then you just connect those like you're connecting the dots. So I'm actually going to move this line, and I'm just duplicating. I'm not changing the angle. I'm not doing that. I'm keeping it the same that way that it was, and I'm just going to put it on the very top. And that's going to give me a line out into the future, and you want to just be as accurate as you can. See how I'm putting it as close as I can to the top of there? And that's going to give us the general dynamics of the line. Okay? And that's how you can be very accurate. If I wanted to do it to the top of the reds, I would only be using the bottom of those reds about where it closes here. Okay? The middle of that candle, right, which is right there. So that's how I draw that angle, and that's how I'll do it. This is the most accurate way. You're really trying to get the essence of the line. If your lines are not super accurate, it's okay, but you want to try to be as accurate as possible. There's another one you can do here by cloning this line, and then you can put that same angle on the wicks, and just touch it to the highest wick of that run, which is up there. When I do this, I'll usually make it dash so I can tell the difference. These will sometimes act like a resistance, and they should act like a resistance, but when price comes up and sits on top of them, they act more like a net to help price climb through and climb out to see higher prices. Now, I believe even though we've been in this range going up and down here, I believe we're in for a very big breakout. This candle just started, and I believe for the rest of the day, we actually may be experiencing the breakout up in and it may be actually tonight. But I'm expecting a support, and we'll get into more. I'm expecting a resistance at the double bottom of here, and I'll explain why. Price had moved down, up, down, here, up again. So we got two big up movements here. And when I zoom in, it makes my line squiggly. So if you're wondering why I draw squiggly, it's because this app makes it squiggly. So if I'm connecting the bottoms of these two, I'm just gonna put it straight because that's about where the essence of the line is. But it's about right there. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do, because it's a resistance, I'm gonna do it as red. And I'm going to do this flat because I'm drawing right at the cores. And I'm going to extend this line into the future. Now there's another one you can draw if you really wanted to. You can clone that line, and then you can put it accurately right there at the tip. But because they're more or less the same area, I'm not going to worry about doing that. You can just make it thicker if you wanted to as well. Okay. But I'm getting the essence of this movement. Now this is very important. This level is very important because when we were way up here, we had came all the way down to this level, and then when price we actually came all the way down to 28 cents, and then price, we had a lot of buying volume, and it stopped right at 36 cents. So there is some power in this area, not enough to go higher, but enough to stop this run here in its tracks. We went up and stopped again right there in its tracks, and we had another bounce up. So it was making this line a little stronger. And then we went down again, and this time it barely went up, but it was enough to mark that level. Then price came down, but only a little bit, before people realized what was actually happening, and price, stopped price in its tracks from going higher. So that line was left untested all the way until now. Now people realize, oh my gosh, we lost all this money. How do we'll get our money back here at this line. Do you understand? That's how that works. These are like break-even points. These are pain points. When I draw them at cores, this is how you're going to find that price. If price comes to here, it may reject. Okay? Now, what is this price? Currently, price is sitting at 27 cents. This line is at 36 cents for XLM. So before price does whatever it's going to do next, it should stop and pay the fine. Now, there are times when price will push up through those levels in an opportune moment, because it is actually it can use like a news event just to bypass that line without having to stop and pay all the buyers here. And then this puts them all back in a good mood. All these buyers up here, it puts them back in a good mood, in a feelings of elation. But if you come up really slowly towards price, or you start rounding off right here, then all these guys are like, okay, I just want my money back. That's just how human emotion works. All price, and I teach this often, all price really is just human emotions. And even though people will say that price is very unpredictable, a stock is very unpredictable, human emotion is very predictable. We've been doing it from a very long time, and I tell you this in my other videos, since the rice days when we've been charting price. So let's look at some reasons why we're going up. So we see that on XLM, price pushed past these lines and then came down and sat on these lines, and it tried to stay under that line for about what, 1 day. This is a daily chart, so each one of these is 1 day. Now this movement can take several days and even up to weeks. This is a daily chart. It depends on how the setup, but right now I'm telling you, we're sitting on top of this phantom support. If you can't see this, it would look very, just like, where are we going? But when you start seeing the supports and where they're at, it starts telling a story. What else? What else is the story? Well, if we go down to the 4-hour chart, we're going to see more of the story unfolding. So I had shown in another video or in a previous analysis that we did have a parabolic support here. So if I was connecting these tops, you can start seeing that they kind of form a pattern. And if you connect that pattern, you can even forget about it as long as the pattern is pretty balanced. And you can see that price came up and was sitting on that pattern, and it touched it 3 times. So that's evidence that we're going up. The other thing that you can see is that price sat on top of this swing high up here and came back down. So there was a hard close and a hard close against here where I put this green line, and there was another top here, and we extended this out, and then we also put a line against there, which is part of the sword cut, and we'll go over that in just a moment. But you can see that price tried to come all the way down to the hard point, and then it kissed the line, came right back up into the area. And the parabolic, I'm not super accurate with that one, because it's very subjective. Like I can stretch it out just a little bit more to give me a little bit room. You're trying to get the curve to make sense. It shouldn't look wonky. It shouldn't look like that. That's not correct. It should look like a circle where it's balanced, where it'll make sense. And then price won't be exactly, but price will make sense to it, okay? Why I think we're coming out of this area, and I think we're coming out soon. It might be tonight, it might be tomorrow. Let's look at another thing. Here's and again, this is my secret here, guys. This is my secret I'm giving away. when you draw the cuts on here, we start finding the story behind this, okay? So right now I'm going to tell quickly the story behind this area. Now, the first thing we see is price came up, down, up, down, up, and then it broke through to here, and it went up and then down, went up again, and then went down. So there's some key lines here, here, here. You draw them together, and that's why we drew. But the angle's off. So let's draw the first one. If you're connecting the bottoms here, here, I'm connecting that bottom, and it gives me this point in time. So you extend that out. That's what you do with that. Okay. So if you wanted to extend this out, you can see price maybe react to it in the future. The other thing is that this down is slowly weakening, so now we draw it again, and then price cut through. So now we're waiting for price to ever come back to here, to this point, and that becomes our cut. So I drew this in golden. I drew it in golden area with the white line. I mean with the golden candle. And what I'll do is I'll make that really thick so you can see it right now. And that's the general area where if price were to come up, it could resist off of it, and then it'd be a negative signal. Or if it comes up, it'll be a positive signal. In this example, price came up and it sat on top of it, on top of this curve. So this is a very important area. This would represent maybe a buy area. Okay, so we have a big reason to buy at this area because we're sitting on top of the pain point. This is the sword cut. It also happens to be the sword cut of the parabolic. If the parabolic were to have a cut, it would be cut right there. And now we're on top of there. Okay, so which is, you're seeing where parabolic was broken. It was broken right at that line. Okay, price went right through, and where it broke, that's where we draw. And that's my secret. Okay. And this is the secret I give to you. This is the secret of the sword method. Now I use a lot of lines in production in conjunction with reading price to create the price map, so you can actually see what price is actually doing, and that helps. And the thing that can help you in whatever technical analysis you actually use, or if you use this solely as your method. This is the method that is of drawing trend lines. I was tired of reading a lot of books where people were talking about being general with trend lines, and I started drawing trend lines on higher time frames and then using those on lower time frames to start telling stories. And then I found out all the various ways that you can draw trend lines, and I also found out that the main key points is when price breaks, and you continue those lines into the future, you can actually start seeing price unfold a story after those. And then if you start reading volume in conjunction with those, you're going to start seeing another thing. Now, what is this right here? Let's go right into it. And I hope you guys are learning a lot from my videos. What is this area? This is actually an upside down head and shoulders pattern. And the way you can tell head and shoulders pattern, before we get into that, I'm actually going to show you an easy example using the same pattern here earlier on how to tell a head and shoulders pattern. So this right here would be considered a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, and I'll show you how. So here, if you've never seen this before, there would be a shoulder, here would be the head, and here would be another shoulder, or like that. Okay, so you got shoulder, shoulder, head. Okay, and this, people always wonder, is it going to be a reversal head and shoulder, or is it going to be, we coming up or we coming down? Is it inverted? And the way you tell is you tell the story of that head and shoulders by just taking a closer look, and it starts revealing the secrets of it. So let's see what we can find on maybe a 2-hour chart, and we're going to look at that. And we're going to just dissect that period of time and see what we see. So the first things I'm going to start doing is slicing and dicing. I'm going to locate the tops and the bottoms, and I'm going to examine it and see what story unfolds. So here we have the shoulder, and if I were to draw there and see that price cuts, I see that price came up and to that area. So here we go. We went up at the pain point, stopped right at the sword cut, and then we continued up. However, now we have a new point in time that we have this coming into play. So we have these 2 points. We'd connect that to see what story that would tell. Okay? The story that would tell is if we draw this to this, we actually see that price came underneath. Okay? So price came underneath and then came down to its sword cut and then went up, and then it didn't go up further. Normally, if this was very bullish, maybe we'd get stronger, so it tells us, oh, maybe the shoulders filling. So then we mark this point, and then this could be actually, the sword point acts like another key point. So if we were connecting those lines and see what happens there, let's see what happens. Okay, so basically we're just dissecting this actual head and shoulders pattern, and you can see what data you get. And now we have this. Okay, price went up, price came down, price went up, and then for some reason we went down and we curved underneath the line. So I always tell you, that's how I like it. That's how I like price. It needs to curve nice and good, and then, and then we can go down. When I saw that price was bouncing on this line and losing strength and then came underneath and swung up, that's what tells me this is going to be a shoulder. And if this is the shoulder and it's looking like this, then that means that we're going down. If it was inverted, it would look something like this. But it's not. It's like this. Okay? So this examination tells us that price is getting weaker. So we have these cuts here. I'm going to show you again. Look at this. Here's another cut. If you were being very accurate, but I'm just trying to show you these core principles at work. Here. Here. Cut it. There. So we have a cut reaction. It wasn't very strong. This wasn't very long. But it was enough to bring price down and tell a story about maybe something that's going to be happening here. There was some up evidence. There was some down evidence. Price went up, came down for whatever reason it came down, and we were able to connect. So what I'm doing is just I'm dissecting this on a lower time frame. This is a 2-hour chart, and I'm dissecting that this is actually sword cut. And you can do it again here. Okay, so let's take another look here. Let's connect this swing to that swing and draw it out into the future accurately, and there we go. Look, here's another one. Another point right there. I hope you guys are learning something. This is some very good stuff. Took me years to learn this stuff, and I'm giving you the secrets. If you're watching this video, God bless you, because you're getting some very good stuff. Okay? You start drawing these on your prices, and you have what you need, okay, to examine price. Now, we see cuts, supports, and you're going to look, and those things are going to tell a story about what's happening. Then there are other things, because the run wasn't done, but you're going to be able to see things that you should be able to see. So here we see that price came up and sat on there and went up, but it didn't stay up long. It went down. So we're actually having more losses towards the end. And when you're examining the head and shoulders, the end story is really going to determine who the winner and will the victor be. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. So if here's the head and here's the shoulders, it's this half of the story that's going to tell who's going to end up winning and who's going to end up losing, because all of them will start feeding into the overall story. Okay, and what I mean by that is the final pushes for when you see those final pushes on the head and shoulders pattern, like the big ones. Okay, like and this is like a parabolic, you could see that, but the biggest ones start telling the biggest stories. Okay, when you have here and you've seen all of this, that means all of this is done. When I'm here and I see price coming up and swinging, whether it was here Or here you're gonna see, yep, we're done. We can now go to lower prices. And you can see that price had trouble breaking through a third time. And it tried. I'm not saying that price isn't gonna, but look at 1, 2, 3, down. But there was 3 head and shoulders, so I guess that's permissible, right? Okay, so this is how I examine head and shoulders. Now let's go back to that 4-hour chart and let's see why I think we're in an inverted head and shoulders with this. Okay. So this looks like chop. Okay. Somebody say, "Oh, this is just chop." Is it? Is it really chop? Even chop tells a story if you can look at it correctly. Sometimes there really is legitimate chop. To me, I see this as inverted head and shoulders a little bit. Okay, maybe it's a 4-headed monster, but this is what I see. And if for anything you guys are using, if we miss this run and it goes up right now, wow, that's great. XRP is already having a big movement. Again, there's always a trade, there's always runs, but I just want you guys to be aware. I think all of this area was already good pricing because of where we were sitting at. Okay, now let's get into a 2-hour chart. Okay, let's go to a 1-hour chart. On a 1-hour chart, if we're examining this run, what am I going to do? I'm going to start slicing and dicing. Here we go. This time I'm going to take the wicks because my eyes see a clear pattern here by connecting these wicks. And let's just see what happens, okay? So here on this one, I'm connecting this wick, this wick, this wick, because those 3 wicks match pretty accurate, whereas these wicks, these cores do not. So that's when I'm going to use that technique. Here we can see price went through, but then we see it sat down and had a big run. And we can see this in hindsight, and that's okay to see it in hindsight because again we're examining. What are the negatives for this? Well, if we were to take maybe the bottom of here and the bottom of there, we still see support. We don't really see a negative, do we? Not really. What else? What other things we can see? We connect. How about this? The top of here, the top of here. Where did where did we cut it? Look at, if you're drawing really accurate right there. Okay, you see that. But what do people forget? To draw the sword cut. You draw the sword cut here. And what do we have? Support. And then you just start taking all the evidence to build a case. We have support at a parabolic sword cut. We examine this individual, like the DNA of this individual movement to see the overall story that, hey, this is support the support. And if I look closely, I can still see support even in here. So that's telling me stories, that's telling me, hey, this is positive for price. This is very positive for price. It may need to have come down to test a few areas, but this is very positive for price. So just using the cuts to tell a story can really help you understand what's really happening with price. So, that's the secrets I want to give you for today's video, and why I believe that this area is absolutely going to the next cuts, which I believe it's going to be right here, because that's where we find on the daily chart. So I'll leave you guys with that for this price, and let's just go back right into XRP. We are still on our way to 0.80 cents. So I have the blue lines, which are the which are going to be the daily lines. Okay, right now I'm in blue. I'm working on a color-coded legend to help everyone understand. I'm still long. I've been long since green, since this this zone up here. I'm actually going to be long for the next several days because I'm very expecting very big pumps. We had price coming up and consolidating in this area. We did have price trying to, the phantom holding down price a little bit, but then price used it to climb out, and it was not affected almost at all at the phantom wick. So it's very not as important right now. So I can fade that line by turning the transparency down, and I'm using the app trading view. Um, but this phantom I'm gonna leave in existence. Okay, I have a lot of questions that people ask me. I've been collecting them. We'll get to that another day. But I did want to let you know we just recently just had price was just sitting right on top of these white lines. And what are those white lines that I have drawn? Well, those are the daily. Those are the daily phantoms, and those are very strong. Oh, I'm sorry. The blue right here with the daily. The blue were the daily, and the white is the 4 hours. So we could I could leave it as like this blue if I wanted to, um, if I wanted to, and then this dotted blue we'll leave it at blue. We'll decide what we should do. But I'm using blue and red for the daily support, and just white for the 4 hours, so you guys can see. And I might use green, but I'm still creating this legend as I'm doing it. If you look closely though, I drew this blue line. That one was the same as this blue line, in the same like we did in the previous example, where we took the lows of here and the lows of here, and we projected on the middle of that curve, or the highest points of those curves, which are the core of that curve here, and the wick, which is the height. If price is moving so fast, it won't have a chance to come back to that line, but it could try, and it could come back here. You can also draw the same with the 4 hour charts, which I put in white. But you can see very closely on XRP, as we went over the other day, price tried to come right down to that line and kissed it and came up. And it's like plain hard to get. I had somebody in the chart room. I said, hey, these are already good prices, and they said, oh, I want more than a kiss. Well, I said, what did you want to do? Price to make out? Because price would have to come all the way down hard close. That doesn't always happen if price is very bullish, which I believe right now XRP is, as we're getting closer to its next target of 80.47, which is a cut that we've drew in the past. Okay, and it's a very good cut. Price could reject that, but I actually believe price it's gonna spike through, and then price is gonna sit on top of it or kiss that one and then kiss it goodbye, and we'll be on our way up to. I believe we're actually gonna get to around $1.20. There are some people who say in the prophetic community that we can actually be going to $12, and that goes along with some intel that we received from David Schwartz. Some numbers he was putting out in some hidden messages that he's putting, and there's a lot of people that a lot of the insiders who are the Ripple execs who do put out some of those cryptic messages and have been proven right in the past. So it's good to pay attention. Like I always say, follow the riddlers and just see what they're saying, because sometimes there's a hidden message in things, and you got to see, because that's how some of these people communicate. I can give you my map. There are a lot of people who do cover it. I like XtraVod. He's pretty good. His name is XtraVod, VOD. I like Limbo, or Lambo, Moon Lambo. Not Moon Lambo, but Lambo guy. I can't remember. He's very intelligent, and they give a lot of news. I also follow a few other channels that go over a lot of news. When they're talking about they collect a lot of information. People from all over the internet send these people information regarding a lot of things that's happening, links to articles, websites, what's happening. And there is a lot of stuff, and they just kind of collect those and put them in brief videos. And you'll see in our Telegram up here that I do post some of those videos from time to time, as do other members in our chart room. They'll post videos about maybe what's going on, and you can see those, and there's that's just a great thing to have at your disposal in case you were really considering certain cryptos or things like that. As for me, I'm a collector as well, but I don't post everything I collect. I just give you guys the charts. That's why people come to me, because I'm giving you guys the maps of where price is going to be having its most of its targets, most of its supports. I do the best I can, and I also draw using the sword method techniques that I've used for many years, and I just try to provide that information to everyone here. I do it for free. Okay, you can join me at Telegram here. So for all of the haters online right now, who do, the spammers like saying about go to this person's Telegram or whatever, I can't say about them. I can say there's a lot of spammers on YouTube. So if you're one of those, please stay away from my content. I do give this information for free. However, it does take a very considerable amount of time when I'm in the chart rooms, providing charts for lots of other cryptos. I don't always give these updates throughout the day on YouTube. I give you the general maps, but you're going to see that if you're on Telegram throughout the day, in my chart room, you're going to see my name pop up when I'm posting posts, and I often post in the mornings heavily. But in the evenings, I make sure I have time with my family. In the chart room, when you see my name pop up, you can always click on my name and then click on the button join, and you'll make sure you subscribe so that if you ever want to click on my name, you'll be able to easily scroll up through all of my posts and see everything I've been posting for the last few hours. If you are on my Patreon, which I would love if you guys join my Patreon, not only does it help support, sponsor me, I'm really grateful. You can make with a donation of any kind. It's something like a website, like more than a Facebook, because I'm able to post a lot of things. It's like a personalized website just for me, and that's called Patreon. And you'll see it. It's called J-Song's Chart Room. The link is in the description of this video. Go ahead and click on the description, and you'll see a link to it. You can make a donation or a pledge. They call it a pledge. It's like a monthly pledge of every kind, and you become a member. You can message me personally there. I will respond to you. If you have special context, I do ask if you can give me at least a day to respond. You can give me private messages. You can even ask me for personalized charts. I am taking a vote right now of which charts that people are asking for, and I'm going to be making videos and content for them. But again, all of this does take a amount of time to answer a lot of the questions. I do love to really provide and share this information, but I am also very grateful for the 12 people so far that have joined my Patreon and are supporting me, and I'm really grateful that you just said, hey, you're being a blessing to me, I want to be a blessing to you back. And if you are able to make a donation, great. If not, don't worry about it. Don't feel bad. I'm still going to be there for you. I'm still going to do my best to give you that information. As time goes on, I may do exclusive charts that are exclusive to my Patreon community. And I do have positions right now. If you wanted to know, I do have positions in Dodge, and I do have a position in XDC. I may now take a position in XRP. I do have like a certain small percentages. There are people. Most of my positions right now is in XRP. The last things I do want to say. I do expect that there will be a big pump with XRP. I do think that we can go to $12, but when we get to those levels, along with I believe that along with information received from the prophetic community, that we will be having a retracement about those levels. You can count on me to be marking those levels and charting those things to see what I can see. Now, this is going to be on territory we have not gotten to in the past, because the highest we've been to with XRP has been only I think it's like $3 in the past. Right here, the highest we've ever been to is $3.30. So that will be uncharted territory. So I will need to let some candles develop, but I should be able to chart some patterns. And if I do see that price is starting to show some signs of weaknesses at those levels, I'll be sure to cut price for you and chop it up, because that's what I do here. at the chart room, people laugh at me and they said that, Captain Crayons came through, chopping, with his sword slicing and crayons flying. And yeah, that is actually what I do. When I look at price, I sit down and I start drawing and slicing up price, dissecting it, telling you all what I see. For years, I kept this information secret. I never wanted to give it away. I wanted to charge a lot of money for my secrets. I wanted to do that, but I just have been feeling I need to share this because there are people who have no idea how charts work. They have no idea how price work. There are people who have been trading for years and don't understand some of these simple principles that are actually simple in hindsight. Such as how to draw phantom supports, how to, why it's important to draw on in high time frames, and to draw accurately in high time frames, and how it relates to lower time frames, and how to see those big waves coming in. You're gonna have a huge edge over the markets, which is your competition, and yourself, which is your competition. There may be, if you're seeing that, like if we're looking at XRP, if we're looking at XDC, what we were doing earlier, XLM, sorry. We were looking at XLM, and we saw all of that support and all this evidence building that there is positive, and some of you may be thinking, oh, it's time to short XLM. Well, you may be thinking, gosh, I have all this evidence that's telling me contrary, and it could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. Price can always do the unexpected, but you start seeing a story unfold, and I'm telling you guys, after watching price action for 19 plus years, I see these patterns emerge. It took me 11 years to figure this stuff out. And then from there, I really only did it on Forex, and I did it with some stocks, and I saw this happen with price action all the time. But I've been figuring this stuff out since I was 17, 18 years old, looking at price action, printing out screenshots. I would print out screenshots back then, and started drawing on them, trying to figure it out. I would wake up and spend hours just looking through my books and saying, what am I missing? There's secrets here. I don't understand. What are the secrets? Lord, help me understand the secrets. And I feel I do now understand this, a lot of the major secrets. And sometimes you're like, man, why did price move up that day? Well, sometimes you just need to, step back and maybe look at the monthly chart, and you can see, wow, we were on some major support there, or hey, there was a parabolic, or hey, there was a sword cut here, or hey, there was some previous lows, and you may not have known, but it was there all along. Like just look at this example here on a monthly chart. I'm just playing with you guys here, but as I'm looking, here's XRP, and if you were to draw this line here from the previous swing low when price first came down, when we came to this area, you may have been thinking, oh, we should be selling, and you would have sold under here. But if you were to look carefully, you would have saw, hey, there's a lot of reasons there may be support here, and you may not have caught that, but it was there for you all along if you knew where to look. And in the beginning days, my accounts would just get wrecked because I failed to see the patterns that were always there before me, and they were there all along. And when I started learning how to draw correctly, I can see the times on why price was actually reacting in the ways it did. So you can start seeing a story unfold, and evidences to trade the contrary. So if price was up here, I might thinking, woo, we're really close to this sword cut right here. I may not be wanting to buy. I might want to wait until price actually hard closes above it, because there may be some, hard evidence on why we should be staying away from that at these levels. There's times when you can see, look at this. I mean, I'm just connecting these bottoms here, and then you can see that price reacts there. And then where was it cut? Well, it was cut here. See that? I'm just flying through these charts, guys. This kind of stuff happens all the time. Look at this. I mean, I'm just being as accurate as I can. Look at, where did price cut? It cut right here. You draw that straight out, and where did price hard close against? It came up and hard closed right there at that same line. Guys, these are the secrets. Okay? And I'm so grateful you're here. And I'm glad you need to know, you learn these things, but I would like you to spend some time drawing on your chart so you're not getting absolutely wrecked, taking a position that maybe there's some evidence. And I'm not going to catch everything. I'm not a prophet, I'm not God, I'm not any of that stuff. I'm just me. But I can show you how to draw, and maybe you're going to see something that I missed. Maybe you're going to start, compiling evidence to make a case. Look, we connect these bottoms here. That's pretty average for a bottom. Even if I was just doing averages, that's going to give me some resistance areas that I should be looking and saying, hey man, maybe here I shouldn't be buying XRP back in October of 2019. Maybe we're spiking through. Maybe there's some evidence here that I should be not doing that right now. And then sure enough, we came back low, and then you can draw more and just start making a case for price, because your indicators may be telling you one thing, but if you draw on price, you're going to be learning other things that you may not have understood before, because these things are in front of your faces. A lot of times they're going to be there. You're going to see price say, why did price do that for that day? I'm looking at this. This is a weekly chart. These are weekly charts on this that I'm just playing around with, okay? Look, price came down to that. Like, why did we stop right here of all reasons? We didn't know why this week that's the lowest we went. And then for that week we came down but came back up for the week. This may trade you, this may seem like it's really small or insignificant, but if you were trading on a 4-hour chart for that week or a 15-minute chart for that week, you're going to save yourself a lot of headache, because you're understanding, hey, maybe what's really happening. Or as I talked about the other day, remember I said, hey, we're going to go to 25 cents. But then we sat right down on that purple line and I said, hey guys, look, we hard closed against this. There's some evidence. It was right here. And I did a YouTube video about this. I said there's some evidence that I don't think we're just going to go there today. We're not yet. There's some support here. Now, how big was that support? Well, that support was very big. And had I saw the cut, I was so zoomed in looking at the 15-minute chart, I failed to really notice that. But there was a big cut there on the 4-hour chart for that time. And if I had saw that, which was here, in this area, then I would have saved some headache there too. Okay, I've already covered this in another video. But if this is, you're new to this stuff, let me just show you real quick. If I was drawing, what was it? This is only from here to here. This one, where was it? It was these ones here, these two here, and then there's another one here, which you connect this one to that one, and you just be very accurate. And I'm going to show you how accurate this is. Look at this right there, pretty close. But then look in the end, and you see what was price doing. Gosh, price was sitting against it. So that was one reason why we should buy. Another reason why there was tops here, and you extend those out, and it just starts making a case that, man, this is probably a support area. And then the next candle would have confirmed, hey, we're up, and then you would have had a whole 4-hour session before that, the big month. Now this was on a Sunday, so I was not actively trading that day, and I had a lot of people that were, oh my gosh, we missed it. We came right back down to that same area, set on top of that as support, and now we expect this big runs. I think we're still not even done with this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up in the morning and there's just a lot more money on that table for you guys. That's where I'm thinking. But I'm so glad you're here, and I'm really serious about these. You can hear it in my voice. I'm really serious about these things, because these are things that are kept, as secrets, and praise God that you're here and you're learning these things, because I'm like, wow, you guys get to have this, and there are people, who don't really understand price action, who are, just, just like saying, oh, everything's going to go down. And you're going to be able to have the ability to start drawing and make a case for yourself. You won't have to rely so much on gurus or anything like that, but these things help you with timing and they help you with seasons. So if we're sitting on price here, and this is what 4-hour chart, we're sitting up, we're going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're saying, wow, what are we going up and down? Are we just going to come down? But the truth is, we were sitting on top of this 4-hour phantom here. We were sitting on that line. And then furthermore, we were still right above the daily. So I told everybody, I said, man, guys, I'm expecting price to just go, because look we just get this nice curve. If you were trading like maybe a 1-hour chart, it would look something like this. And I know everyone messaged me during the middle of the day. What's happening? Look, we're not going anywhere. Are we going? We're going. I said, guys, just zoom out. Look at the picture. Look at the story. Look what prices went up, brushed through those levels, and consolidate. I think what's going to happen, we're probably going to bursting through these levels, consolidate again before we go on, because the price has to pay those tolls. And then, why do I expect this level to react? Well, look at the 4-hour. Look at these supports. We have months worth of building up and building up and building up. And now all of these guys can be a negative aspect. And I'll show you this, the last thing, okay? All of these guys can be a negative aspect to price if we come up to that level. But it can also be positive, because we have these guys too from here. I'm sorry, I drew that wrong. From here. And these guys can be enough to help propel price past to these upper levels. And it's very possible. This price is about moving in position. We'll explain more in other videos. I got some fun charts. If you're joining me on my Patreon, praise God. Praise God. I hope this information that I give you is just a blessing to you. If you want more, go ahead and join me on my Patreon. I will be posting to that thing as I do. I copy a lot of my letters that from the questions that people ask. I'll put them all in the notes, and then I'll usually put them in one letter, and I'll put on my Patreon response. So you'll see me tracking price throughout the week, but just maybe not on Sundays. I may post something, just if I'm there, but God bless you all. Thank you for joining me. Let me say a prayer for you. Lord, thank you for helping us to understand price action. Lord, I know this stuff may seem foreign and this is new to people who have never really seen technical analysis this way. But if this is for them, Lord, give it to them. Give it to the people, Father. I don't need to keep this information a secret only, Father. But if people stumbled upon this video, they watched it through, Father, and you're showing them things on how to understand the sword cuts and the sword methods. Praise God. Give them secrets. Reveal to them the truth behind price. And I can't be there to show every price, every time, every second, every day of every crypto, Lord. And I even only follow a few myself. And there's always a trade, as I always say. But Lord, there are people who are wanting to unlock skills and abilities to understand markets and price action. And there's many people investing who have no idea what they're doing. You can give them the knowledge. You can even give it to them prophetically, Father. But there are times when you reveal things through knowledge. And these things that you give me, Lord, anoint them to understand price and price action. Give their minds clarity so they can make better decisions what they're going to do with their finances, to have an edge in the trades that they're going to take. And I pray, Lord, more than anything, if they're watching this video and they haven't met you, I pray that you meet them. Reveal yourself to them. There are people who just need you to reveal themselves, need you to reveal yourself, Father, to them. They're wondering if you're real. Speak to their heart. Show them you are. Use this video even to show them you're real. There's more important things in life than trading, investing. And those are the things eternal. Money is nothing in the end run, Father. Because as the Bible says, naked I came, naked I shall go. May the name of the Lord be praised. And so may your name be praised, Lord. We love you. I thank you for showing me these things as a young man. I thank you for showing me these secrets. Give them now to the people. Give it to them for free. People who've used and waited years to just have a breakthrough in their technical analysis. People who have indicators that only work. Sometimes they don't know how and when to apply those. Lord, give them the maps of trading. Give them the ability to create price maps. So when they use their indicators and when they use their gurus, they'll have some sense of timing and targets. And they'll be able to be better at their skill and at their trade and at their, whether it's a stock or crypto. Lord, just show their minds things they never saw before. Thank you, Lord, for doing that. For these bunny traders in our group, I love them. God bless them, Father, for watching this video. I thank you and I praise you. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's always a great time sitting down with you. Have a great day and a good week.